I am feeling a little frazzled this week, I'm gonna be honest. Honestly, it's been going on for a while, but this week, like, a bunch of things came to a head. This whole year has been kind of in transition, where I know I'm going to India. I don't know exactly when. Could be next month, could be next spring, but it's going to be soon. Earlier in the year, I thought it was going to happen quicker. And so everything's kind of been in flux as far as like my living situation. And we've been doing a ton of traveling. So just months upon months of like traveling to go see my oldest daughter and some of my cousins and some of my friends, kind of just like making the rounds before I go, you know, like saying bye to some people. So this week I like moved houses. It's just going to be a temporary kind of situation. The place I was living, it was amazing and I loved it. You know, when like you're in transition, you know, like you don't belong somewhere anymore. It's not anything about that place or those people or anything like that. It's just like where you're at and like you're ready to get into a new life thing. That's where I've been at for like months. And it's been great and wonderful, and I love traveling, so I'm very grateful for all of the traveling I've gotten to do, and some of it was out of California, and some of it was in California. My most recent trip was about a month long, maybe, and we were in California the whole time. But I feel like I've been kind of like in this flux period. I don't know when I'm leaving for India, and so I think my life has just been very unstable in some ways. There's a lot of stability in some ways, but physically, like my physical, like where I'm rooted in has been kind of in flux so much this year. And I've been preparing for like leaving the country, but not just leaving the country, like I'm going to be gone for a long time. Maybe I just won't come back, motherfuckers. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so this week I moved. So I moved like a couple of days ago to where I'm renting a place at my other friend's house. So I moved in here to try to like simplify things a little bit because I have a lot going on. I've already started my first podcast, but there's a second podcast that I've been called, my guide team is like, get this podcast out there. And so this is actually the intro video for that podcast. But I've been doing a lot of like, I don't do Western medicine ever. Like I really don't. And it's very rare that I will use that medical system for like diagnostic tests and to like just make sure everything's running smoothly and nothing's out of whack and all that. And so when I knew I was leaving for India, I decided to like go to the doctor, like the Western medical doctor, for the first time in like 10 years. And so I've been doing a number of different like tests and stuff just to like double check everything. And then on Monday I did a mammogram, and then they called me back for a second one, which could mean something or it could mean nothing. You know, it's likely nothing. I'm sure I'm fine, but you know, just a little added stress, that's all. So just a lot happening in my world. And I don't always share like that kind of stuff with people because I'm usually like the one that just handles my shit and I don't like tell anybody. But I'm trying to like not be that person anymore because like I'm the person that people have always relied on. It's always assumed that I'm okay. And I am always okay. I'm just saying, like, do you get what I mean? Like, it's just, I'm trying to, like, switch that in my life so that I'm not just, like, this pillar for other people and I'm not getting the support that I need. So I'm starting another series. I'm treating it like a podcast, but it's going to be formatted a little bit different. So I'm going to release 2 videos a week, but they're going to be a lot shorter, like, I'm gonna really try to keep them like 10 to 15 minutes because I just know it's easier to digest a 10 to 15 minute video. It's also easier to find 10 to 15 minutes to watch a video, but also the topic that I'm going into, it can be heavy, and I think 10 to 15 minutes is enough time to kind of focus on something of this magnitude. Anyway, so it's going to be called Unveiling the Matrix. So this is going to be the first time that I'm actually not holding anything back about my story. So some some people may know, I was trafficked as a child in the pedophile ring. So like P. Diddy, that whole thing, that's not even the tip of the iceberg. That's not even close to the tip of the iceberg of like what's going on. And so I'm going to share my story and my perspective. I have started, like I mentioned in my other podcast. So my other podcast is called How to Attain Enlightenment. And that's more about the light part of my journey. And like, because I am here to attain enlightenment, like that is the ultimate goal. And then help others who want to do the same. The shift that's happening in humanity, you could kind of look at it like everybody on the planet kind of attains enlightenment or like some level of enlightenment. And that's how the shift happens that everybody's talking about. And so anyway, I'm here to assist that. I've dabbled in putting my story out before. I was holding back some parts of my story because to protect people in my life who don't deserve my protection, or I was keeping things to myself that are part of the overall story that are important in the telling of the story, because the point of putting my story out is to help others who have either been through the same thing or others understand like what is happening on the planet, because the pedophile rings are like connected to all the other shit that's going on. It's all being controlled by the Matrix. Okay. And so the reason for putting out my story is to like assist others. But if I'm not sharing parts of my story to protect people so that I don't like hurt others or so that I don't ruffle feathers, I'm not really doing justice, first of all, to myself and my story, but also I'm not doing justice to like everybody else who is experiencing what I'm experiencing, because I know how crazy making it is. I am literally not holding back in this series. It's going to be the whole truth. Like there's nothing that I'm going to leave out of the story. I work so hard in my life in general to stay in integrity. Not that I need to like prove myself to anybody, but I'm just saying that my story is true. Okay. And I don't embellish anything. I try to keep to the bare facts and the truth so that it's not skewed. Like I've healed myself from my past, from everything that I've gone through. Like I am healed from it. And that was a big key to being able to talk about my story without all of my own emotions, which emotions are important, like it's important that my emotions were there and that I felt things about what happened to me and what I saw, because it's the way that your body processes things, and it's also the way to release it when you're very still angry, like hatred and deep sadness, and your story is going to be skewed by that, or when you're still in a victim mentality. Me telling my story now, and I never got through my whole story in the other kind of iterations that I had originally put out. I understand now that like I was led to do them because it showed me where I needed more healing. And it also showed me how I wanted to put my story out, or how I wanted to work with my story. I've always known since I was a little kid that I was going to use my story to help others. So I'm going to be putting out 2 videos a week. I'm going to keep my How to Attain Enlightenment podcast as a separate channel on YouTube. So I have another channel that's under Erica Blackbear, and that channel is going to be where I put Unveiling the Matrix, because I am not sure if they're going to try to take it down, or I'm going to try to use words that, may not get videos taken down, but I'm also not going to like overly censor myself. And so I don't know what platforms are going to take it down. So I am going to have it on Spotify. It's not going to be under the same umbrella. So How to Attain Enlightenment is going to be separate. I actually have another podcast that I started last year that I just stopped. Lots of reasons behind that, but called The Mystic Mecca. And that I might restart again at some point. But that one is also on my Spotify. And then And then Unveiling the Matrix will also be on the Spotify. But I am also going to upload these videos to TikTok, and I might do Facebook. I haven't decided yet if I'm just going to link it from Facebook, just link the videos that are either on YouTube or Spotify or TikTok, or if I'm going to actually put the video on Facebook. I have a feeling that Facebook is going to censor it the most, like right off the bat. And so I'm hesitant to put it directly on Facebook, but we'll see. I'm going to have to like play around with it, because some of the information that is going to be put into these videos is, it's about child abuse. It's about pedophiles. It's the underlying horrible, seedy, in the shadows shit that's going on the planet that is coming to light. So I'm going to kind of play around with where I put the videos up. I'm going to aim for Mondays and Fridays to release the Unveiling the Matrix. Wednesdays is still going to be How to Attain Enlightenment. The last couple of weeks, because I was traveling and just my whole schedule was off, I was kind of late on the other podcast, How to Attain Enlightenment, but I'm kind of like caught up with everything now. And so I'm going to aim for Mondays and Fridays, Unveiling the Matrix, Wednesdays, How to Attain Enlightenment.